Hello, I'm Stephen Orvis, and I'm going to show criteria that I use to build out my deal box for doing business acquisitions. So first up, we have a location that could be different for everyone. Some people might be looking at internet-based businesses, so the location might not really matter, except for just that it's fully internet. Other people might be looking at a radius, and other people might be willing to relocate. So then this factors in your buy box. What you're looking at, me personally, I actually ended up with two because I could do an internet business or I possibly could do a local business. And so that could vary for everyone, and you might even have multiple paths that you might get in your buy box. But this is important just to establish kind of where you're looking. If your internet business is obviously be more online. If you're local, you might do both online and be looking at off-market deals in the community, people you know, and like that. So that affects where you search by your location, the deal box. So as you hone in this deal box, it'll help you in finding the business and kind of where you're going to find that at. So next up is the price and SDE. This is important because it shows if you can cover debt servicing or not, and also to how much money you have to put into the deal. And you're fine with the math once you take out the money you need to derive an income from the business and the debt servicing. There's going to be a curve that's going to go down sharply where the business is worth less and less and less, and then it's going to seem like a really silly deal to the seller. And so that's where kind of having parameters are on range. If a business just doesn't make that much SDE, by the time you apply debt servicing, there's almost no point in negotiating them down on price because it's just going to make you look ridiculous. And so by having that range, and if the deal is too small and just saying no, I'm not interested, that lets you move fast, walk away. The point of having the deal box is to quickly say no to the deals that aren't going to go anyplace, and that way you can spend more time looking at the deals that do. And so that's why this is important. So you're actually looking at one in the right range. And so, you might not have SDE for all deals, but maybe you have a price, whichever way, you can kind of roughly figure out what it might be worth based on multiple and at least get pretty close. And that will help you hone in on only the ones that have potential. Also, your upper limit there will tend to be your capital you can invest, whether you're getting SBA loan or some other loan, investors or something that's going to give you a cap to it. But of course, the bigger you can go, the better. It's just that you can't go past whatever limitation you have there. Then another deal box criteria that I have set for my acquisitions is number of employees, and so this is going to vary for each person based on what kind of a headache you want, how much redundancy you want from management, what risks you want of people in place. And so for that, I've picked a number, and I'm still learning on this one, so I might change that number as I go on, as I look at more businesses. But this is a growth thing. It's just honing in and seeing what kind of businesses you're looking at. I think like an internet business might have different metrics here versus a service-based business, so that could definitely vary over time. So speaking of internet businesses and service businesses, the type of business will also play in as a factor. Maybe not as strongly as you'd think, though. Really, the SDE price, stability of the business, good growth, and not a declining business long term that has lasted the years, and so then it can cover that load the SDE we're talking about. It's probably going to matter more, but you may have certain businesses that you perhaps dislike, or maybe you just don't know anything about and you just really don't want to get involved in that. Or you may have businesses that you have, whether someone you know or you personally have information, interest, skills, whatnot, that would make you better for that business. So that might point you in a certain direction, but not necessarily. There's also a concept of your skill set, what you're good at, what you enjoy. If you get alignment with that, you might have a certain sector. And so the idea is taking a business that's already profitable, working, and then you have something extra special you can add on to it and make it even better. So those are my four main criterias that I have so far in my deal box. The point is to keep it simple. If you make it super, super complex, then maybe you won't have all the information to verify right away. Typically, on at least online listings, you're going to see something very, very vague like supply route for vending machines or restaurant business, something like that. So oftentimes you can hone out things like the type of business. The price quite often is there. If the price isn't there, you may have to be asking for uh, an NDA signed to get numbers, but most of the time you're going to see some sort of an indication of SDE or price just to give you a feeling for it. And I think that's so the brokers don't get overwhelmed with too much there. And then your employee size, that one I might adjust over time, but that's what I have right now. And then the location too. So all of these just to hone in, find exactly what you want, not waste time on the things that you don't want, so that you're efficient with your time and you don't waste other people's time as well.